Hi everyone. This short video will show you how to find journal articles in the health sciences using PACE library databases and Google Scholar. We'll start at the library homepage, which can be found at Library.Pace.edu. In the search widget in the middle of the page, we're going to click on the Databases tab. Databases contain journal titles that the library subscribes to. If you're not sure which database to start with, I would suggest you use the subject menu. So the subject menu is a list of majors, programs, subjects, things that are studied at Pace University. For example, we can click on Health Professions. That will automatically load a list of databases that in some fashion contain content that might be of interest to students studying in one of the health professions. We're going to start by taking a look at a database called CINAHL. It's an acronym and it stands for the Cumulative Index to Nursing and Allied Health Literature. I'm going to click on the name of the database to access. If you're off campus, you will be prompted to log in with your PACE username and password. Here I am in the CINAHL search screen, and before I even start searching, there's another thing I can do to make even more efficient use of my search time, and that is to add some additional content to my search in this platform. So we buy this database called CINAHL from a company called EBSCO. We also buy other databases from this same company. Above the search box, if you click where it says Searching CINAHL Ultimate, that will open up a pop-up menu where you can see all the databases that we buy from EBSCO. In this case, I might want to add Medline, which is medical journals, to my search. Depending on your research topic, you may want to add APA Psych Info if it's a psychology topic, perhaps education abstracts if you're talking about health education. So you have some different options here that you can consider. For this search, we'll just search CINAHL and Medline. So I've selected both of those. Now I'll scroll down and click on the Select button. And now you can see above the search box, it says Searching CINAHL Ultimate and one more. So we know that we're actually now searching two databases. So let's start to type in our search. So I'm going to type in high blood pressure. I'm going to put that in quotation marks, and then I'm going to type the word or and hypertension. So the word or tells the database that I am interested in either of those words or phrases. So it's going to search and find all the articles containing the phrase high blood pressure, and it will find all the articles containing the word hypertension. Those are synonyms or very closely related terms that describe the same concept. So this is like doing two searches in one. The quotation marks around high blood pressure tell the database to look for that exact phrase, those three words together in that order. That's a good search technique if you're finding an overwhelming number of results. You can really focus with phrase searching. That technique with the quotation marks also works in Google Scholar and in Google. Okay, in the second search box, I'm going to type in salt or sodium. Again, this is a way of running two searches in one. And you can notice I capitalized or in the first box. I didn't capitalize it in the second. It doesn't really matter. It's a habit I have to sometimes capitalize or. So this is going to look for all the articles that use the word salt or use the word sodium. The word and that's here between the two search boxes basically tells the database, I want everything, every article where there's overlap between what's in search box 1 and search box 2. So anything that's high blood pressure and salt, high blood pressure and sodium, hypertension and salt, hypertension and sodium. So this is a way of just doing multiple searches in one. It's an efficient use of your search time to connect synonyms or very closely related terms in a search box using the word or. And then the word and between those search boxes really focuses our search and in theory finds us the articles that we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to click on the search button to run our search. And you can see here under results, we have found 54,320 articles. That's a lot, but don't worry, we're going to narrow that down. There are filter options here across the top of the page, right below the search box, and we're going to use some of these. So the drop down that says all time, that is the publication year filter. So you can decide, do you want the past 10 years, 5 years, 12 months? This is just a shortcut filter. You can do a custom age range using the main publication year filter. I'll show you that in just a second. In this case, I'll just select past 10 years. And you can see that already dropped me down to 16,000 or so articles. The other filter we should consider is source type. So you can see we have in this list of results, academic journals, magazines, dissertations, there's one book. In this search, what we are looking for is academic journals. So I'm going to click academic journals and then click apply. In addition to clicking academic journals as a source type, you may also want to use the filter here for peer reviewed. Peer reviewed is like the next level of academic journal quality. And that means the articles in this list of results have been through the peer review process. Okay, so we still have a lot of results. We're down to a little over 15,000. And if you start to scroll, you can see that we are seeing our search terms highlighted in yellow, which is great because that allows you to see why these results came up in your list of results. Just to note, these results are in what's called relevance order. So the database is bringing what it thinks are the best articles to the top of the list. And you can see there's a little drop down here at the top right that shows you what order these are in. Now let's consider adding some additional filters to narrow our search even more. To do that, we'll click on this button at the top that says All Filters. That opens up a menu on the right where we can now go in and continue to kind of focus this search. Because we're searching in health sciences databases, we do have filters related to that area of study, for example, age and gender. Perhaps I'm interested in hypertension in women. So I can go in and I can use the gender filter and apply. So select your filter, click apply. And you can see again, our result number will go down. We can continue to use filters here depending on our search results, depending on our search question. For example, maybe we are interested of women who are adults. So we would say maybe above age 18 or 19. Under the age filter, you can see, and you might notice this, that you see there are two filters for all adult. One just says all adult, and there are 737 articles. The other one says all adult 19 plus years, and there's over 3,000. We're seeing two different filters for all adults because we're searching two different databases. So just keep that in mind if you've added additional databases to your search, to be sure to look at all the filters that you're given. I will mention the geography filter. It is very tempting. However, it does not work effectively. We have over 5,000 results in our list right now, and the numbers that we are seeing here for the countries or geographic locations listed do not add up to 5,000. Not every article gets a geography filter tag applied. So as tempting as that filter is, we do not recommend it. We do, though, the language filter is usually applied very consistently across the board. So perhaps if that is something that you need to do, for example, I can only read articles written in English, I can use the language filter if I'd like, and that would help to narrow down. Okay, so I've made my age choices and my language filter choice. I'm going to click apply again. And now we'll see we're down to a little over 3,000. So you can see we've narrowed this down significantly. Another option you could do if you want to narrow even further is you can go back to your advanced search screen, which at the top right, you see there's a link to advanced search. The default search is that the database is looking for your search terms in all fields. So it's looking everywhere. Article titles, journal titles, abstracts, as well as subjects that have been assigned or tagged in the article. You could narrow your search even further by telling the database, only look for these words in a certain place. So for example, only look for high blood pressure or hypertension in the abstract of the article. That will narrow your results significantly. Or you could tell it to search only in the subject field. And that would narrow your results significantly. So those options are there for you to consider as well. Okay, so I'm going to stick with all fields. I've got academic journals, peer-reviewed articles in the past 10 years. I've limited by age, by gender, and by language. I can start now to start skimming and see what results might be available for me. And you can see as I'm scrolling through that many of the articles, you can see a button below the title, and you're getting a little snippet of the abstract here. For some of these, you'll see that you do have options to view it in PDF or online full text. That means the article is immediately available. You can click on either of those links and you have the article at your fingertips. For some of the other articles in the list, you see that you might not see access options, or you might not see full text immediately, but instead you see a button that says search for item. So search for item allows you to look and see, do we have the full text of this article somewhere else? So for example, let's look at this one. So item number 15, I see the search for item button. I click on that. It opens a new tab in my browser window, and what it's doing is it's looking to see if we have this article in full text in one of the other PACE databases. And in this case, it looks like we do. We have it in a number of places. So I can click on that link and it should open up the article in a new window, and then you'd be able to read the full article, and there it is. So I'm going to close that tab. I'm going to close the search for item tab, and I'm going to go back to my list of results. So let's take a look at another one of our articles. So again, if I click on search for item, it opens up a new tab in my browser window. In this case, what it's telling us is that we do not have this particular article in any of the PACE databases. You can see it says submit a request for materials outside the library collection. And then there's two links. Pleasantville and New York City patrons, that's you, no matter where you are, request using Iliad Interlibrary Loan. The other link for the law patrons is for students at the law school. So I'm going to click on the link for Pleasantville and New York City patrons, request using Iliad Interlibrary Loan. So Iliad Interlibrary Loan is a service we provide where we will get this article for you in full text. It fills out the request form for you. All you have to do is click on Submit Request. The interlibrary loan staff will email you when the article is available. There will be a link in that email that will take you back here into the Iliad system, and your article will be listed under electronically received articles. I recommend you download it right away and save it because articles only sit here for 30 days. Okay, I'm going to close the Iliad tab. I'm going to close the search for item tab, and now I'm back at my list of results. So one of the nice things when you click on search for item is it opens up a new tab in your browser window so you don't lose your initial list of results. When you click on an article title, you do get a little more information. You get more author information. What kind of publication is this? Maybe information about the journal. You will see the full abstract for the journal, which is a summary of the article. Up at the top right, you also have options to download the article or citation to your computer. You have the share link, which will give you the option to save it to Google Drive. It also gives you the option to email the article to yourself. The quotation mark icon, this is where you could click to find the APA citation for an article. APA happens to be the default in this database or in this interface, and you can see here's the article title that you can copy and paste into your own document or project. I will say that those citations are not always 100% correct, so double check them against the APA manual or against an APA help site. Okay, so this is searching in the PACE library databases to find academic journals in the health sciences. We used our little shortcut to add in a second database. So we searched CINAHL and Medline, and we were able to focus our list of results by using many different filters available, including source type, publication year, language, age, and gender. Keep in mind also the option of searching just in the abstract or just in the subject if you're finding way too many articles. Another place that you can look to find good scholarly journal articles is Google Scholar. So if you haven't used Google Scholar before, I highly recommend that you go into the Google Scholar settings and you make sure that your Google Scholar is set up to access the PACE library full text. To do that, when you're at Google Scholar, which is scholar.google.com, click on the little 3-bar menu, the top left, and go to Settings. In the Settings menu, click on Library Links. Now mine is already set up, so all the PACE University items are selected. But if you have not done this before, just type in PACE University, and don't type in PACE University Library, just PACE University, click search. You should find all the same items, click to select them all, and then click Save. Now your Google Scholar is set up to give you direct links to full text articles when we have them. So for example, if I search hypertension and sodium, we can see the results that we get. And here on the right, you do see some links that could be free, could be available to everybody, but you also see these links that say full text at PACE-U, full text at PACE Law Libs, that's the law library. Those are links to full text articles from the PACE databases. Some of the other PDFs might be free, which is great. Some, however, might not be free. So for example, if you click on an article title in Google Scholar and you're not getting the full text of the article and it asks you to pay, do not pay. We will get these articles for you using the Iliad Interlibrary Loan Service as well. To do that, you would have to go back to the library homepage at Library.Pace.edu. Under Quick Links on the right, you want to click on Interlibrary Loan. This will take you into the Interlibrary Loan system. And in this case, you can click on New Request and then click on Article. When you're requesting an article that you found through Google Scholar, you will have to fill out the request form manually. But you can just go back and forth. Here's the journal title, volume, issue, the author's name, the article title. All that information you can just copy and paste into the request form, click Submit Request, and the Interlibrary Loan Librarian will email you with a link to the article when it's available. So we've looked at searching for journal articles in the health sciences in PACE library databases and in Google Scholar. If you have any questions about these searches or any other research you're doing, please go to Library.Pace.edu and click on the big Ask a Librarian button. That gives you all the different ways you can contact us and ask a question, and we would be happy to help.